What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we've got a pretty special topic to cover. Once again I'm doing a collab with SmugStick to make a two-part series. This time we're going to be looking at both Brolys. The title for this might sound a bit weird. What if the Brolys were twins? And it's pretty much exactly how it sounds. In the main timeline, what if the two Brolys were born together? Super Broly and Z Broly. As brothers, I guess. We'll be covering this today with part 1. It'll be on SmugStick's channel and linked above, as well as in the description. Since we do it with every video, let's set a like goal of 3,500 likes with this one. And with all that out of the way, let's start off this scenario. On planet Vegeta, two kids are born on the same day. This is a surprise to Paragus. He was only expecting one kid, but it seems he has twins now. This isn't too weird. Twins are born occasionally, and it's nothing concerning. No one really bats an eye at this at first. But as the two are placed in their incubation chambers, the scientists around them note something odd. Their powers, they fluctuate so rapidly, and at their peak, it's incredibly high. They think it might be some sort of error at first, but as they continue to monitor the babies, they realize that it is no issue. Little do they know, they're in the presence of a legendary Super Saiyan. Speaking of legends, big thanks to today's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. This game's really got it all when you think about it. It's got global PvP, massive PvE boss battles, 600 plus champions. I mean, this game's got a little bit of everything for everyone. I'm sure you've all heard of it by now. Be sure to use my links below to download Raid for yourself, either to your mobile phone or PC. And besides all that great stuff I just mentioned, I actually had a little bit of a highlight for you today. Let's take a look at one of the bosses, the Guardian of the Void Keep, Malik Kavar. Things like this guy is what makes me like this game a lot. The variety of the different enemies and bosses is so cool. Like this guy, for example. He's a priest of the light that turned evil. And now as a master of magic, he's a pretty big target for people trying to raid him. And he's obviously not going to go down without a fight. And one of the greatest things about this game is how often it gets updated. For example, this month's update, the Guardian Ring. A huge new feature that gives you a bunch of new ways to use your champions. If you're worried about getting started, don't be. All you gotta do is scan this QR code or hit the link in the description. And when you join the game, you'll get the epic hero Chonaru, as well as 200,000 silver, 1 XP boost, 1 energy refill, and an ancient shard that you could use for summons. All this treasure will be waiting for you here. And you know what? Try and find me in the game too. Here's my account, and hopefully you guys will join me soon. These two have widely varying powers, not just one, but both. Of course this would reach King Vegeta and concern him. So, what's the rational thing for him to do here? Send two children to an uninhabited planet that can kill them. Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable. So, both the kids are sent off. And just a heads up, both of them are not named Broly. That would be a bit confusing. What we decided is to keep Super Broly named as Broly, and as for Z Broly, we're gonna name him Cumber. If you look at Cumber from Dragon Ball Heroes, it's a pretty fitting name for this Broly. And since he doesn't exist here, it's fine to take his name. He won't care. Paragus gets word of this when it's too late. The two kids are already sent off. And just like he does in the Super Broly movie, he ventures out into space to try and find them. Although, he ends up getting stranded on Vampa. It seems now he's going to be stuck here with his two kids. And he notices exactly what the scientists were seeing. The two of them, their power fluctuates so wildly. Even as children, both of their powers are into the hundreds right now. And oddly enough, it seems like the two have a disdain for each other. But Paragus isn't concerned. He'll raise his two sons for revenge against the Saiyans. With that great power in their hands, he could use it to his advantage. But they're stuck on Vampa a lot longer than expected. As the two of them grow up, it becomes very apparent that the two are very different. Broly is a lot more quiet and to himself. He does have moments of uncontrollable rage, but he doesn't seem to enjoy it. He also befriends some animals on the planet, oddly enough. As for Cumber, well, he's the exact opposite. He has the same power and rage outbursts as his brother, but it's almost like he enjoys it. It seems like he's sadistic in a way, and Paragus actually gets kind of concerned. He kind of sees Cumber as a threat, but there's nothing he could do about it. His son, he's so wild and outrageous. He feels like at any moment, Cumber will try and kill them. But this only makes things worse. Once Paragus notices this, he keeps Broly a lot closer than Cumber. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy as he separates himself from Cumber. And it's not like Cumber doesn't notice this either. He knows his father is playing favorites. Broly is just as concerned about his brother too. He's not exactly too fond of Paragus, but he'd rather stick by his side than Cumber's. Cumber actually views his brother as a bit of a weakling. Not in terms of his physical strength. Broly is very strong, but he thinks his mind is weak. He's way too gentle to be a Saiyan, especially with the great power he has. The two of them grow stronger and stronger as they continue to grow up. And at one point, Cumber decides to make his move, attacking Paragus and Broly. Living on this planet with the two of them and sharing resources is not something that he likes. Cumber enters a fierce battle with Broly, with Paragus watching on from the sidelines amazed. He knew his sons were strong, but not this strong, and it's concerning. One is on his side and one isn't. He knows that if Broly loses this battle, he'll die too. But luckily, he has trained Broly a bit. Cumber had to mostly learn stuff for himself. And even though he does have some fighting experience, he's a little bit of a sloppy fighter. Broly actually does have some skill, and that does help make the difference here. The two of them are pretty similar in terms of strength, and when both of them are enraged, they do go a bit berserk. Thankfully, they don't transform just yet. With a shock collar, Paragus is able to keep both of them in check. Obviously, Broly doesn't like this, but Paragus says it's for his own good. If he goes berserk, or if Cumber goes berserk, they won't be able to be stopped. The fight continues and becomes apparent that Broly's gonna win. And just to help him a bit, Paragus even uses the shock collar. Cumber almost goes berserk, but is stopped by this. And Paragus sees a side of Broly that he hasn't really seen before. Broly's a very gentle guy, but this is self-defense, and he tells Cumber if he tries that again, he'll kill his brother. Cumber just laughs maniacally at this. He rips his shock collar off, and surprisingly, he flies up into the sky. They wonder what he's gonna try and do, but a barrier then forms around him. He'd rather risk his life out in space than be here with them. And if he survives, he promises them that he'll be back. But he leaves one last parting gift too. In his hand, he charges the blast. It punctures right into the core of Vampa, and the planet begins to explode. Cumber flies off into space, and Paragus and Broly don't know what to do. Instinctively, Broly does the same thing that Cumber just did. He forms a barrier around him, and more begins stacking around that. The planet begins crumbling, and they're not too sure what to do, but then it explodes, and the two of them are flung off into space. Thankfully, the barrier does protect them, not only from space itself, but also the planet exploding. But the thing is, they can't really control where they're going. The planet exploding gave them huge momentum, and now they're going in an unknown direction. Well, at least they're off the planet now. But will they actually survive out here, and where will they end up? Let's move over to Earth now. This is about a year after Trunks arrived. Goku's waiting out in the middle of nowhere. Piccolo and Gohan are there too. They're not too sure about this, but Goku says to trust him. Apparently, something really weird happened in Trunks' timeline, but it didn't really amount to anything. About a year after Frieza arrived, something crashed into the planet. Trunks recounted a story. There were two Saiyans that came here, and they started fighting each other. The Dragon Team was helpless to do anything against them, but it didn't really matter, because in the end, the two of them killed each other off, as well as the other Saiyan that came along with them. They didn't know anything about these guys, and Earth was almost destroyed from this. Had those two not killed each other off, well, Trunks probably wouldn't have been alive. But Goku sees this as an opportunity. Trunks told him to not get involved, but Goku has a new idea. He awaits the Saiyan that's supposed to come here. One of them might be good. If the two are fighting each other, maybe there's a chance they can recruit one of them. They just need to find out more about these guys. And it's just like they expected. As they're waiting, they see some green glow in the sky. Nearby there's a massive explosion as this thing makes impact with Earth. Piccolo asks Goku if he's really sure about this, and Goku says this might help against the androids. Who knows, maybe if they don't try this, they'll die against the androids regardless. It's at least worth a shot. From what Trunks told them, obviously he wasn't there during this battle, but from what he heard from Gohan, these two Saiyans seem berserk. But as Goku goes over to the impact zone, he sees this guy. It's a middle-aged Saiyan and one that seems to be around Goku's age. When Paragus sees everyone looking over him, he jumps back kinda scared. Broly jumps in front of him to protect him, and Goku tries to calm them down. These guys don't seem too bad. Maybe the other guy that's supposed to come here is bad, but if these two are actually berserk animals, they would have been attacked by now. Goku introduces himself, saying that they're not going to attack at all. He knows the two of them are Saiyans and says that he is too, as well as his son right there. Far away on a cliff, Vegeta's standing there watching. That fool. It's so stupid for him to try and meddle with this. He departs the area, thinking for himself. Piccolo and Goku ask more about Broly and Paragus, trying to figure out things about them. Immediately, Paragus has some disdain for Goku. After he hears that he's a Saiyan, he's feeling a bit enraged. But he's a bit more level-headed this time. He can tell Goku's pretty young, and from what Goku says, he's been here since he was a baby. Apparently Planet Vegeta blew up, which Paragus didn't even know about. So even though Goku is a Saiyan, it's clear that he wasn't involved in any of this at all. And he's a lot more gentle than the other Saiyans that he's met. It wouldn't make sense to hold a grudge against him, so Paragus hears him out. After hearing their story, Goku proposes something. He mentions that they actually know about his brother coming here soon. Apparently Cumber's supposed to arrive on Earth eventually, probably seeking revenge against them. Yeah, it sounds kinda unbelievable, but he says that both of them die in the battle. He offers Broly another outcome. Train with them, get stronger, control his power. Paragus tells him that's not gonna work. He's already tried that with Broly, and nothing's happened so far. But Goku then points to Gohan. That kid right there, he's actually a little bit similar to Broly. What, that kid? He's not even a full Saiyan. Yeah, Gohan has temporary outbursts of rage too. Even though they're not as explosive as what Broly has, still, if he can learn to control that anger, maybe Broly can too. The two could work together, and Goku can help hone his power. He also has something pretty special to show off to them. He turns Super Saiyan. Paragus can't believe his eyes. And Broly's amazed too. Is that something that he could accomplish? Goku powers back down. With his rage, it probably wouldn't be a good idea for him to try and unlock this right now. But if they train together, he might be able to. He could defeat his brother once and for all. They're not too sure about it, but they go along with it. For a few weeks, training begins. And during the training, things immediately begin to go south. At one point, Broly does go berserk, and Paragus says that he could shock him to stop him. But Goku says he's crazy to try that. Even if it does stop him, that's no way to treat his son, and he's not going to learn anything from it. Instead of unnecessary abuse, they could stop him some other way, try and get him to control this power. Broly is in his wrathful form right now, and as they could tell, he's a lot stronger than before. It seems he's using the power of a great ape in his base form. How do they know this? Well, Vegeta comments on it. Wait, Vegeta? Paragus is surprised to see him here. He hasn't met him yet. How is the prince here? He gets into an argument with Vegeta defending himself, saying he's not responsible at all. The two continue bickering and not even focusing on Broly. Whatever, Goku could fix this. As those two sort that out, he and Piccolo will try and stop this. They go in fighting Broly together, and they are actually able to make some progress. They do stop him and calm him down a bit, and Broly's surprised. That's the first time it was stopped without him being electrocuted. That just proves that this can be tamed. They continue working with this. Eventually, Paragus and Vegeta sort out their differences. Although he still does have some disdain for Vegeta, him being the prince and all. Broly works a lot with Goku and Piccolo. He and Gohan also work together, developing an unexpected friendship too. Their personalities are pretty similar, not to mention their rage boost. And together, everyone helps to tame Broly. And it's good timing too, because not long after, they see a green glow again coming towards the planet. Goku can sense this power. It's malicious, insane. And Broly says there's no other person it could be. It's definitely Cumber. Paragus knew it was only a matter of time. He just hopes that everyone's training works. Cumber has definitely been training too. There's no way he's been out in space doing nothing. They see a green explosion nearby. Cumber crashes into the planet. He steps out of the crater, and they're surprised at his appearance. Obviously he looks similar to his brother, but he looks even less threatening than Broly. And as he steps up to them, he's confused. Who are these other people here? It seems Broly ended up on an inhabited planet. He knew his brother was here after sensing him. That outburst of rage gave out a lot of energy and he could feel it from across space. But he doesn't care. These people are just in the way and he'll kill them too. But something catches Cumber's eye. He sees Vegeta. In the original Broly movie, he had an explosive reaction when he saw Kakarot. But here it's a bit different. His trigger is Vegeta. Paragus has always told him about this guy. Seeing him and hearing his name too, it instantly sets him off, as well as his brother being there and his father. Vegeta, Broly, Paragus. Cumber repeats these names as he's surrounded by a green aura. His power continuously rises, and the area glows an ominous color. He powers up. His hair begins standing up too, with a bluish tint around it, and then he fully transforms. He bulks up considerably. His hair has a greenish tint now. His eyes are completely blank, and he grins. Vegeta falls to his knees. No way. This is what they were dealing with? This is the legendary Super Saiyan. What? A legendary Super Saiyan? Goku's confused. He tells Goku this is far different from what he is. It's an uncontrollable Saiyan fueled by rage. They won't be able to stop this guy. Paragus is just a concern too, but Broly doesn't back down. He tells Goku he's going to continue fighting, and Goku won't back down either. Goku transforms into Super Saiyan. Gohan steps up too to help, as well as Piccolo. The humans realize this is a little too much for them, so they don't get involved. And as for Broly, he tells his brother he's been training. He goes into his wrathful form, but instead of being berserk, he's completely controlled here. Cumber laughs. There's no way they could expect to defeat him. A battle ensues. Broly launches towards his brother first, and the two clash midair. Damn, even with this controlled power, Broly feels that this won't be enough. He's starting to feel his Saiyan blood bubbling. He feels rage within him, but he's got to keep it under control, and Goku watches closely, making sure he doesn't lose this control. Blast hit Cumber from overhead. He looks up and sees Goku up there. He launches up towards Goku and is then kicked right in the face by Broly, before he can grab a hold of Goku. These two, they're allies. His brother really is a weakling. He can't even do this alone. This only humors him even more, and angers him. He then feels a massive blast hit his back, turning around and seeing Vegeta there, also in Super Saiyan. He's finally unlocked this, and this is the first time he's used it in battle, since he only got it recently. But even though this legendary Super Saiyan strikes fear into him, he needs to hide it. Paragus knocks some sense into him. Instead of having Vegeta grovel on the ground, he's gonna fight here. At least then he'll have some sort of chance. This only pisses off Cumber even more, and everyone continues their battle. But they notice something odd. Broly's power begins increasing too. Goku tells him he needs to control it, but Broly's having a tough time, and something different's happening too. His hair. It keeps spiking up a bit and then dropping back down. He's surrounded by an intense greenish aura. Cumber laughs, telling his brother to let out his rage. Stop being a weakling. Be like him. Broly tries to hold it back. He doesn't want to go berserk. He'll kill all his friends around here. It's like what Goku told him. If they fight berserk, they'll just kill each other off. But he can't stop it. The rage, it keeps coming up within him. And as he continuously gets injured by his brother, it only fuels him more. Eventually, he powers up. His hair completely spikes up, and he's surrounded by that aura again. But something weird happens. Paragus and Vegeta feel like it's all over. Two legendary Super Saiyans fighting each other. But Broly's turned into something different. After the transformation completes, his hair, it looks exactly like Goku's. It's a pale golden color. He has bulked up a lot. And his eyes, they look like they do in his wrathful form. They're yellow. Broly's confused too. Wait, he's in control. Vegeta sees what happened. That must be wrathful combined with Super Saiyan. He might not be a legendary Super Saiyan, but he's become something completely different. Cumber punches his brother, using all his power. Broly lifts up a single hand, catching his brother's fist, throwing him into the ground. Even Goku's amazed. Broly's in control? and he seems to be a normal Super Saiyan. Well, somewhat normal. This power is way beyond a normal Super Saiyan. Cumber launches back up at him, and they continue fighting, but it's clear that Broly is way ahead. Cumber's growing stronger and stronger during battle, but that's not even helping. Broly's growing stronger too, and getting more used to this power. Cumber jumps far back, planting his feet on a nearby cliff, launching towards his brother at insane speeds. Both his fists are out in front of him. Broly doesn't move at all. He simply puts two hands up. Cumber collides with his brother as his fists are caught by him. A massive shockwave is created and it knocks everyone back. Cumber is struggling as his hands are crushed by his brother, and Broly looks right into his brother's soulless eyes. He told Cumber if he tried to attack again, he would kill Cumber, and he was serious about it. Knowing how dangerous his brother is, he's not going to waste any more time. He knees his brother right in the chest. Broly creates an energy blast in his hand, flying straight up with it pointed at his brother. Cumber tries to stop himself flying up, but it's already too late. He feels an impact in his stomach. The energy bursts through his back. He screams. He's launched into space as the blast continues, and all the power within him explodes out. How? How did his brother defeat him? Those are the last thoughts running through his mind as he dies, with Broly standing there looking melancholy. He powers down, descending back to the ground. They can't sense Cumber's energy anymore. It's over. He did have to kill his brother, but it was necessary. They're safe now. And you know, things kinda did work out. Not only are they safe from Cumber now, but Broly is on Earth. He has a new home. Same for Paragus too. They don't need to be stuck on that wretched planet anymore. And Paragus has also given up on his revenge. All the Saiyans are dead besides these two. Goku obviously had no responsibility, and he can't blame Vegeta for the sins of his father. They'll just have to put the past behind them. And you know, maybe things will actually be okay here. Well, at least for a bit. Eventually, the androids do arrive. But things are a lot different this time. Thankfully, with all their training and a great training partner, Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, and Piccolo all got a lot stronger. And obviously, Broly is there too. Even though Goku does succumb to the heart virus, the androids are killed pretty quickly. But then Trunks arrives, surprised to meet Broly. That's weird. They ended up taming that guy and becoming friends with him. But he says that those two androids weren't the ones from his timeline. They still need to find the lab where those two came from. Eventually, they are able to locate the lab. And just like they thought, they see 17 and 18 there, also not yet activated. Since these androids aren't activated, Krillin actually has an idea. What if they reprogram these androids? They seem to be just normal people that were turned into androids. Judging by Jiro's plans, this wasn't consensual. Maybe they could fix these two, make them good again. They're not too sure, but they take them back to Bulma's lab just in case. And while they're in Jiro's lab, they even find blueprints for the androids, meaning that Trunks now has a self-destructor mode. But before he leaves for the future, they encounter one more threat. Cell appears. Although, there's a big issue with Cell. He never actually got Broly's DNA. By the time that Broly arrived, Jiro decided that they already collected enough. He does have data on Broly, but during his fight with Cumber, the drones were destroyed by their sheer power. They were simply not durable enough to survive those shockwaves, so he doesn't know the true extent of Broly's power. And even though Cell is pretty strong, with all these people here fighting him, well, he's killed pretty quickly. And now Trunks even knows about him. He'll just have to keep training harder and harder up until when Cell arrives. But with this remote control, he can go back to the future and destroy the androids. This all worked out pretty well, and he's glad. He thanks everyone for their help and tells Broly he was glad to meet him. Goku eventually recovers too, which is good. Everything's going okay even if this is a separate timeline and nothing changes his timeline. Trunks leaves, and now the group has a time of relative peace. But what's going to happen after this? If you want part 2, it's already up on SmugStick's channel. I'll link it above again in case you didn't see it. Be sure to check that out to get the conclusion of this story. So what did you guys think about this video? Leave any thoughts in the comments below. I'd like to see what you guys think. And as always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like. It really helps out the channel, and let's try to hit that like goal too. It lets me know you want to see more like this. If you haven't already, why not subscribe? As well as clicking the bell icon to be notified about any future parts of this What If, or any other videos that I upload on my channel. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Thanks to SmugStick again for collabing with me, and I'll see you all in my next video.